So welcome to Anna Acton from Freed, Heather Heckler from 211 Connecting Point, Janet Maroletti from Gold Country Community Services, Megan Timpany from United Way of Nevada County, and Nicole McNeely, who is joining us as well. Are you unmuted, Nicole?
I am now.
Good, excellent. So we all know that right now, a lot of organizations had to stop programs, and others are stopping programs because there are not enough volunteers. So, but there is an option, of course, to volunteer. And maybe Heather, if you could start by telling us what 211 Connecting Point is doing and how people can sign up and what the needs are.
Great, thank you so much for having us here today. So obviously we have an amazing community of people here who really want to come out and help, which is just, it's so typical of Nevada County that people really want to show up in a crisis. And so what we've been doing at the Volunteer Hub is finding all of the opportunities that are still appropriate for the world we're now living in with COVID-19 and social distancing, and also opportunities that will really help people get their essential needs met, such as food delivery, et cetera. And it looks like we have some awesome panelists here who will be able to talk about that. So we currently have, and I'll just say, Pascal, props to you. Since we last talked, I think 50 people have registered on the Volunteer Hub. I think a bunch of those probably registered with you, all of you who are on the call today. So thank you for helping us get the word out. We now have 11 opportunities that are appropriate for COVID-19, including Freed's phone reassurance program, which I'm sure Anna will be talking about. The Fire Safe Council really wants to ask everyone to use this time to clear their property. Food bank, people to pack at the food bank, and give away pet food, and Interfaith Food Ministry. We've got food bank distribution days, the California Health Corps, which we can talk more about later, but if you are a licensed medical professional, you're needed right now. Sierra Roots needs assistance with lunches. Hospitality House needs assistance for a grant researcher. And you can also foster dogs for Scooters Pals. So there's all kinds of stuff that there is available to do that's COVID-19 appropriate with social distancing. And I want to talk a little bit later about a new opportunity that the Public Health Department is just putting out as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Heather. So that's a whole bunch of opportunities. And what's the best way for people who are interested? How can they volunteer and how can they sign up? Just go to 211 Connecting Point, to the Volunteer Hub? They
can go to connectingpoint.org or volunteerhub.connectingpoint.org, and we will get them to the right place. So on our homepage there, if you go to volunteerhub.connectingpoint.org, we have really high up there COVID-19 button, and that'll take you to all of the opportunities. And then we also have some featured opportunities there right now that are COVID-19 appropriate.
All right, great, thank you. Anna, what does Freed need and how can people help?
Yeah, thank you so much, Pascal, for putting this together and for what all of you are doing. So we are a disability and aging resource center. So we serve people with any type of disability and older adults. So really, we're serving the target population that is more at risk for COVID-19. So there, Heather mentioned our phone reassurance program. Our office has gone virtual. Our staff is working from home, but we're still providing services, but we're really seeing a need for connection with people who are isolated during this time. We already have a lot of older adults and people with disabilities who are isolated in our community. And now, right, that has really expanded and intensified. So we have a phone reassurance program. We actually got 10 volunteers over the weekend through Connecting Point. So I want to thank you for that. And we're currently screening them. So we provide daily or weekly phone calls to individuals who want those calls as a check-in, as a social connection. So we are looking for volunteers for that. As well, we are working with Gold Country Community Services, the Food Bank, Interfaith, to really work to meet the need of delivery from the food bank or other essential items for people who cannot get out and get to those services, to ensure that we're able to utilize volunteers to bring the food to people, do porch drop-offs. So we are looking for volunteers with that. I know Janeth will talk and Nicole more about the food piece. I also briefly just want to mention that the governor and Health and Human Services have developed a Stay Home, Save Lives check-in campaign. If you go to www.engageca.org/check-in, we're really asking for people to do a couple things. Call 211, obviously, for any unmet needs, especially around food and other essential items, but also do your part to kind of look at who you know, who's in your neighborhood, friends, family, and do that check-in, call people, text people, and be that kind of social connection during this shelter-in-place order.
Thank you, Anna. And the best way to connect with you, would that be through the Volunteer Hub, or should people email or call Fried directly?
Absolutely, people can, the best way to get a hold of us right now is to call our main number, 530-477-3333. We are answering the phones from 8:30 to 4, and we will make sure that we get you connected to the services that you need.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Volunteers.
Megan, what is going on at United Way?
Okay, hi. Does that work? Yes? Okay. Yeah, so United Way has been really busy just dealing with trying to keep some of our programs going. One of the newest program that we have is we have created with the food bank and with Interfaith Foods, a program for the kids that are getting their free and reduced meals. And so we just had the first, we had a pantry going at the high school for children that needed food. And now what we've done is we've extended it to be more of a mobile pantry. And we had our first one on Tuesday. It was great. We served about 50 families through this. But I realized that with this, we definitely need to get some more volunteers to help out, because we're feeling like many of our volunteers are not wanting to come out and help. Of course, we have a lot of senior volunteers, and people are wanting to stay safe. So that's one program that we could really use some extra volunteer help with. Another program is our Food Access Saturday program, which is going to be happening next Saturday, actually the day before Easter, which is now something that we've created with IFM. It's more of a mobile way of distributing food, where cars will just be driving up and going by, just as the IFM distributions have been, but we will be doing it continue to do it on Saturdays. So if people are interested in volunteering for that, we would definitely like to get some more volunteers for that.
And again, how can people get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of us is by emailing Donna at admin@uwnc.org. And all I can really say is people just need to stay safe out there, and it's really up to people to make their own decisions as to what they're comfortable with, because I'm feeling like we're getting a diverse group of volunteers, but at the end of the day, it's really about what you're comfortable with as far as dealing with the public and being out there. And I keep reiterating that, because we have such a diverse group of volunteers, and it doesn't matter how old you are, what your age is, this is affecting everybody. And so it's really up to the volunteers themselves to make that decision.
All right, thank you. And I am going, perfect, you muted yourself. Nicole, can you unmute yourself and tell us what your needs are and how people can come and volunteer?
Yes, thank you so much for inviting us to this. Thank you for putting it together. I think Heather actually mentioned the 2 volunteer opportunities we have right now. So the food bank has had to go through some serious changes because of our model of distribution, where we have large groups of people all in one location. And so now that can't be done. So what we're doing now is packing bags at our warehouse. So that's the first volunteer need. And that is where volunteers come in and put food into bags for the families that are looking for nutritional support. And then the bags are then transported to the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Grass Valley. And that's where we do our drive-through distribution every Thursday. And we need help there as well. So we need help putting the food in the bags, and then we need help giving the food away. So both of those volunteer opportunities can be found on Connecting Point's website. There's a good description of what to expect and the things that we're looking for, and also timeframes and other questions that people might have about the process. If they go to connectingpoint.org and look under the volunteer hub, they can find the different opportunities to help with the food bank. One of the things I wanted to mention is, just as a side note, that it's not needed, but it's encouraged, that if it is like a family that's being quarantined together, we're looking for groups like that. If they've already been quarantined together and it's a group of 4, that would be just a wonderful connection for us. The group is then kind of all ready, sharing each other's space. So that way we're not bringing out multiple people into our space. And so we could have little groups of people helping, and just, we're just keeping down the risk factor. The other things that I wanted to mention is that before we pack any of our food and before we do our distribution, we ask that everybody take their temperature. We just are really trying to ensure that we are preventative and trying to make sure that we are doing the most good for the most people and protect the community by making sure that we don't have any exposure. So again, if anyone would like to follow through with some volunteer opportunities for the food bank, they can visit connectingpoint.org and go to the volunteer hub, and they can inquire there. There's some great information.
Perfect, thank you so much. And Janet, you must be also incredibly busy. What is going on at Gold Country Community Services?
Thank you, Pascal, and thank you, like everybody has said, putting this together. So I am Janet Maroletti, Executive Director for Gold Country Community Services. We are the agency that does the Meals on Wheels for the community and also provides the Senior Firewood Program. Those are our top 2 programs. So as many nonprofits, we had to drastically change our operations. It's very difficult to remain keeping the social distance when we provide meals to seniors and we check in with them and we have a dining room program. So we converted our Monday through Friday delivery of Meals on Wheels and also our dining room seniors that attend lunch to just 1 day a week. We are still providing them 5 to 7 meals for the week, but instead of everyday delivery, and now it's just 1 day. So that seems to be, we're on our 3rd week doing that, and that seems to be working really well. So on that end, we're okay with our current volunteers doing some of that. Our staff is doing some of the deliveries. What we are expanding our program is our senior grocery bag program. And what that is we knew a lot of our seniors in the community that were on the waiting list for Meals on Wheels still had no access to food. They were unable to go to the food bank and Interfaith Food Ministry because of their frailty, medical conditions, or lack of transportation, and not having family or friends that can provide that. So we started the program in collaboration with IFM and the food bank and our hospital here, Sierra Nevada Memorial Hospital, to really put together some donated food that are more equipped for seniors, that they would be shelf stable, ready to eat, like granola bars, peanut butter, juice, bread, things that they can have as munchies so they could have some food resources. So that program is what we are expanding. So we are now, with the help of Freed and Connecting Point, we are opening that program to any senior in the community that needs food at this point. And I actually have a bag. So this is the grocery bag that is going to be distributed to the seniors in their homes by volunteers. And again, we're hoping to provide at least 2 weeks of food for the seniors there. This is a pilot program. We've never done it before. We were hoping to do it once a month, but now with this crisis, we might be doing it more often. So this is where we need the most help, getting volunteers to help us deliver the grocery back to the seniors, but also opening up that information and that outreach to any senior in our community that may need help with food delivery. So we also, because we are working with vulnerable populations, like the seniors, every volunteer that goes through this program will have to go through a background check just for the health and safety of our seniors, and also with training. We're really trying to limit the time that they spend in their homes. Some of our Meals on Wheels volunteers were used to sitting down, having coffee with the seniors, chatting. We are really encouraging to limit the time that they go into their homes, and if at all possible, do not go into their homes, and place the bag on the porch, by the door, anywhere, just to keep everybody safe. So this program, any senior that is over the age of 60 or any person with a disability can sign up to go to 211 and just let them know that they're interested in signing up for the Senior Grocery Bag Program. And we're going to be asking for their address, for their phone number, so we can coordinate that delivery.
Perfect. And for the volunteers, the same applies for your volunteers. Go through the volunteer help at 211.
Yes, so anybody that's interested in delivering the Senior Grocery Bag Program, they need to contact 211. Let them know that they're interested in volunteering for the Senior Grocery Bag Program. 211 will then gather that information, and then we will take it from there. Again, all of the volunteers have to pass a background check, which takes place probably like 24 hours. And then we can coordinate directly with them, the location where they're gonna go and pick up the grocery bag, and then go from there. We will give them the route of the seniors. And again, we just ask for social distancing and try to really keep the distance for their health and also for the seniors' health.
Perfect. All these opportunities are great. I just posted in the chat, I posted the general URL for Heather's volunteer hub and all the opportunities that are there. There's quite a few. So if you are so inclined, please come sign up, because we know this is a great community, and every time anything happens, everybody is just steps up, which is fabulous. And thank you so much to the community. And I'd like to open it now for questions from our attendees. So if you have a question, just post it into the chat or post it in the Q&A, and we will have our expert panel here answer the questions. And I would like to point out that it is an all-female panel. So in other words, if you want something done, give it to a busy woman, because right there you have 5 very, very busy ladies there. So thank you again. And Jenny is asking for the senior grocery bag program. Is 211 a phone number or a website, Heather?
So 211 started as a phone number. So literally you can just dial 211 from your phone. If you have trouble connecting with that, dial 1-833 211. So it's literally a phone line. You're going to connect to local people who will answer your call. And they will get you connected up to whatever resources are currently available. You can also go online and find a lot of the same information at our website, 211connectingpoint.org. But for the senior grocery bag, let's have people start by calling 211.
Okay, so just call 211 and one of the volunteers. And also we should point out that if anybody needs help or is not sure where they can find help, they can call 211 as well, because that was actually your main function.
Yep, exactly. So what 211 is all about is just connecting people up to local resources. So we're just a starting point to get you to all of the amazing people that are here with us. So, and all of the great resources we have available in this community. It's just a quick, easy way to get connected. So just dial 211, we'll get you to the right place.
And I heard that there is a another volunteer program that is being started very right now, actually, which is the volunteer to stay at home.
Yes. So
Tell us more.
okay, great. We have a great new opportunity with the Nevada County Public Health Department. For all of those folks who are feeling nervous, who do want to do their part to stop COVID-19 in our community, what we would love for you to do is to volunteer to stay home and save lives. So I know it sounds strange, but staying home is one of the biggest contributions you can make to stopping this thing. In the battle against COVID-19, sheltering in place is one of the best tools we have. So we are asking every Nevada County resident to volunteer to stay home. And I'll give you a little bit about what that looks like. It's actually a real volunteer opportunity in our volunteer hub. You can go there right now and take a look at it. But you will essentially agree to stay at your residence at all times, unless you're headed out for necessities such as groceries, prescriptions, healthcare, or just some exercise around the block or walking your dog. But really to keep that social distance when you're doing those things. And that is really providing an essential service to our community. So limiting all contact, avoiding contact with people outside of your household is what's going to stop this. And then sharing your commitment to this opportunity with others in your community, in your circles, your families, friends, and challenging others to do the same. So I think this is kind of a creative way for you to volunteer to do something that's really critical for our community right now.
Great. And I just posted in the chat, I just posted the link to the volunteer stay at home, stay home and save lives campaign. And all you have to do is at the bottom, you can just click there and express interest. You can also visit the Nevada County's Facebook page at Nevada County CA. And apparently they have frames. There are special frames that you can apply to your profile pictures.
Yep, exactly. And we just it's another way to help people get the word out. So put that frame on your photo, share it with all your friends and family. One cool thing about the Volunteer Hub is you can actually create a team and maybe challenge others to join your team and stay home as a team. We would also love when you go and express interest in that opportunity for you to actually go through the very quick process of enrolling as a volunteer on the Volunteer Hub. And then we'll see how many of you are volunteering to stay home, and really we'll see the impact of that in our community. So I put the top end at 98,000 people. So I'm hoping we'll have 98,000 volunteers or more for this opportunity.
98,000 volunteers. Okay, Nevada County, there's the challenge. So
yep, exactly.
We all have to start now these buttons. All right. We have right now. Sheila Cameron, of course, who is everywhere and doing everything, both for Nevada County and on social media, has posted the steps for the to get the frames, the Facebook frames there. And at this point, I would also like to thank both Taylor and everybody from Nevada County who is supporting these virtual town halls, helping out with if there are questions, answering the questions. So we really should give a shout out to them, to the whole team, because it's easy to put up a webinar technically, but it is something completely different to actually have them be useful. And first of all, you have to have great panelists, and we definitely have those. I am thanks again, but you also need the support, and the support is coming here from the county, which is totally great. And there are more webinars that are being held every day. Today, for example, there is one for contractors that Nevada County is holding, and I believe it is at 5 p.m. if somebody can correct me there. That is something where where it's specific for the construction industry. The construction industry is one of those essential industries, but what is essential as well is volunteering to make sure that everybody in Nevada County is taken care of. And you have the opportunities here. You have United Way, the food bank, Freed. And Anna, if you can talk a little more about what it entails to, for example, to work the phones.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will screen volunteers. We have an application. So you can go to Connecting Point, the volunteer hub, to get connected with us, or call us directly at 530-477-3333. Or you can email Deirdre, DEIRDRE @freed.org. We will have you fill out an application for volunteering at Freed, and we will do a background check with you. And then we will identify your interests, how often you want to volunteer, when you want to volunteer. And then for the phone reassurance program, we have a whole list of individuals who want check-ins daily or weekly, and we will give you a list of individuals to call at specific time frames and when to call them. And then you'll report back to us on those calls and if there's any unmet needs that were identified during them. For the home delivery of groceries in collaboration with Gold Country Community Services, the Food Bank, and Interfaith, we will do similar applications, screening, background check, and then as we identify individuals, we'll select days for food delivery and work with those volunteers to get that food delivered on specific days. We're actually pushing for next week doing deliveries. We have our plan is to get a whole bunch of groceries that the Food Bank and Interfaith Food Ministry have supplied on the 8th. And our intent is to get the food bags, up to 150 food bags actually distributed the 8th, 9th, and 10th of next week. So we're actually do not quite have enough volunteers yet for that. So we are looking for volunteers. It will take about 24 hours to screen them and get them in the loop so that we can hopefully get them out there doing delivery next week. And we are working on securing face masks for the volunteers, hand sanitizers, as well as gloves. We have the face masks being made by a local seamstress using the hospital's outline for masks. And we do have gloves, but actually I am in need of additional hand sanitizers. So that's something we're also looking for to make sure we're safely delivering it. We have a whole outline of safety protocols for the volunteers as well.
Perfect. That's great. And maybe if you look in the chat window now, because actually the webinar, today's webinar for the construction industry is at 4 o'clock, and Sheila just posted all the details with the panelists and how to sign up. So sorry again that the webinar today for construction is at 4 o'clock. Let's get that right. Another thing that I've gotten a few text messages regarding the senior, the food bag program. And could you maybe repeat why people need to go through a background check, and also so I got a question about insurance if people using their vehicles to drive to deliver these bags. If you can speak to that, maybe, Janet.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do the background checks because it's actually a requirement of our insurance because we are connecting older adults, people with disabilities, those that may be more at risk for scams, frauds, and abuse with volunteers. So we just want to make sure that we are screening people appropriately to make sure there's no issues there. And the question with insurance, we do have insurance that covers our volunteers, people's personal car insurance is the first insurance that's used, and then our insurance is a backup. I also want to mention that we have we can reimburse volunteers for mileage for this program through our Mental Health Services Act funding and our Friendly Visitor Services that we normally do in person. We are able to use that funding to reimburse for mileage. So super thankful of the county for helping support us in doing this. And so if that's a barrier, or if you need reimbursement for mileage for it, we can provide that to the volunteers. Did I answer your question, Pascal?
I would say so. If I just pushing the right button. Yes, absolutely. And Janet, do you have anything to add to that?
I would just say that we are also getting a lot of people saying, how can I contribute? So we are asking if anybody is interested in contributing to the Senior Grocery Bag Program. We're asking for a $5 donation so we can put together more bags and open it up for more people to participate in this program. But our first priority is really getting food to those seniors and people with disabilities that they're going through a stressful time right now, as we are all being stressed about this situation. But when you have no food at home, it just increases the level of stress. So we're asking people to contact 211, just let us know. We're not asking for your income verification. What we want to do is just get you food to your home so you don't have to worry about that.
There. And are there any plans for maybe, we have some of our local grocery stores are doing a fabulous job at starting to deliver food for people. They can order online and then the food gets delivered. Do you think you would have the bandwidth to actually, quote unquote, do grocery runs for people?
So for us at this point, we're focusing more on for those people that have no access to food. The people that can afford it and can request grocery delivery from the grocery stores, then they're probably not the people that are desperate for food. So people that are low income, people that may not have the resources, many of our seniors, because of their frailty, cannot go out to begin with, let alone in this emergency. So those are the people that first we want to get to. What we're doing for the seniors that do have the resources is connecting them through several grocery stores that do deliver and giving them those resources. There's also groups out there, like in Lake of the Pines, because that's where I live outside of there. They are doing their own grocery delivery for some of those seniors. So they can afford it. They provide the cash for it, but we're focusing more on those seniors and people with disabilities that just don't have those resources first.
Great, okay, thank you. Good. Yes.
I'd like to just add, Pascal, that for Freed, with the grocery bag delivery, as Janet said, it's focused on food, but we are getting calls and we are interested in supporting anyone, older adult, person with a disability in the community who needs access to other essential goods. So similar to, I'm sure 211 is doing this with everyone who's calling. Janeth is, so is Freed, just kind of screening and getting people connected and kind of doing some brainstorming and thinking through how people can get their needs met. And so far, we've been fairly successful with that. But if there is someone out there who doesn't have a very essential basic items, prescriptions, groceries, toilet paper, things that they need. Now we can't solve the toilet paper shortage issue, obviously, but we do want to help assist those individuals as well at Freed. So, any kind of essential item that people are not able to meet or get access themselves, they don't have someone who can go shopping for them or get those essential items, we can help ensure those needs are met and work with our volunteers as needed to deliver those items.
So in other words, 211 will be the solution or come up with a solution for everything, right, Heather?
You got it. Yep. Throw it on the list. No, I just think it's a good way to start to get to people like Anna and Freed, Nicole, Janeth, to get to those programs. Just a quick, easy way to get there, essentially. And just want to say that we all work together, and we all, I think we probably talk 3 or 4 times a week at this point, just to make sure that we are up to date on what the current resources are. And I think we all talked probably this morning to make sure we all know what the volunteer opportunities are, because everything is changing so fast every day. So again, just amazing collaboration in this community that makes 211 the place where you can start just to get to these amazing resources.
And a question that came in via email was, you mentioned Scooters Pals. What exactly and how can this? Apparently, there are quite a few people who want to get their exercise.
Okay, so Scooters Pals, let me pull this up here. They're actually looking for foster families for dogs. So if you are able to foster a dog, they need help. So let's see. They're worried about animals going into shelters if people are feeling ill or not able to pay for vet care and food if needed. So if you are interested in fostering a dog, please get in contact with them, and you can go again to the Volunteer Hub to express interest in that opportunity.
And what is the minimum age for volunteers to pack grocery bags? Who wants to take that?
I'll take that one. Well, for us, it might be different for everybody, but for us, what we do is we ask that if they have a parent present, so if their parent is with them, then the minimum age is 15, because that's the age that you can get a temporary work permit. So we will take volunteers 15 and older, as long as a parent is present with them. So again, that comes back to having that family come in as a little group and community, and packing bags would be wonderful. That would be great. Especially some teenagers. I bet there's some teenagers out there that are probably sleeping in these days. They could come and help us pack some bags.
Janet, is it any different for you?
So what we're doing for the grocery bag is actually IFM and the food bank are putting the bags together. And what we are already getting it all ready to go. And our job is to get it delivered. Speaking of toilet paper, we never thought we would be asking for donations for toilet papers, but we got a donor that donated funding for us to purchase toilet paper. So we hope to put 1 roll in the bags when we distribute the bags next week, at least to help a little bit with the stress of not finding toilet paper.
Okay, so this is the call to action for anybody who may have stocked up a little too much, shall we say. So if you have any toilet paper, your Nevada County volunteer organizations can take it off your hand. You will have more room in storage for other necessities. And let's all remember that COVID-19 is a respiratory disease. And
I have a question.
yep,
I was thinking about Heather, and there's so many volunteers that are at home trying to figure out how they can help from home. And I'm just wondering if there's any opportunities that would be available using video. I know Anna's doing, the telephone calls, but, we have a lot of volunteers that are older that aren't stepping out or don't want to come out of their homes, but it would be so great if there was some opportunities to do like some kind of video chatting or, mental health, that type of thing, because I know they want to help somehow, but they don't want to leave their homes. So I just had a question on that to, help the community that way.
Yeah, and we would be happy to host those opportunities and recruit for those opportunities. We did put a call out to our partners in the Volunteer Hub last week for just those types of opportunities. Hospitality House is looking for a grant researcher. So I'm guessing that's something that could be done from home, just to be looking for those grant opportunities. But I'm sure there's more out there. So a call to our other community organizations and partners. What do you need done that could be done from home?
and of course, everybody can check in with their neighbors or family members, etc. at any time. It is perfectly okay to call your neighbors, especially if they are older, and say, hey, how are you doing? Do you need anything?
Mm-hmm. Also, I'll just say again, staying home is the best thing you can do. It's really, that is what is needed right now. And it is a real volunteer opportunity to stay home. This is actually a major contribution to your community to do that.
Yeah, and staying home, yes, it is sometimes, yes, it is restrictive, but again, cabin fever has a 100% recovery rate. And one of the things that we're going to do next Thursday, actually, shameless plug here for the next webinar, will be, instead of the great outdoors, we're going to talk about the small outdoors. We're going to talk about what you can do around your house, because fire season's coming, got to prepare for that a little bit. And then there are a lot of people that are starting gardens. So we're going to try and have some of the master gardeners there, and that is something that maybe at some point they can actually also provide advice via webinars like this, or if you are a gardener and you want to share some tips, etc., that would be great. And you can do that anytime with your neighbors or your friends on social media. We're talking about organizations here that do an amazing job to get everything organized, and the logistics, all the puzzle pieces fit together. But there is, as individuals, we all can stay at home and we still can help the community. Anybody who we are getting close to wrapping this one up. So maybe can we do a lightning for anything that you guys want to add?
I'll just go first. I just wanted to add too that if somebody is checking on their neighbor or another family member and they need groceries, they can drive through our line on behalf of someone else. So they can come to our distribution with a note from them, or even if you're not able to exchange notes, you can come and say, I need to get some food to my neighbor. They have 3 kids, or there's 2 of them, something like that. And we will give you food to deliver to them. And again, always remember social distancing and just a porch drop off, but people can step up and help other people in that way right now too. And we are very welcoming of that. I feel like it's a great opportunity for people to help each other without too much process being involved. So they can come to our distributions. They take place every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Grass Valley Seventh-day Adventist Church. And we provide families with a bag of shelf-stable items, so pasta and beans and rice. And then we also provide families with some cold items or refrigerated items like meat and dairy and other produce items too, fruit and vegetables. So again, yes, anybody that feels the need to help can come to our line and pick up on behalf of other people. So thank you again for having us. Thank you so much for organizing this.
Thank you.
I'll do a little plug. So again, thank you for having us, Pascal, and you do an amazing job with your job. I love listening to you. I wish I could listen to you all day long. But the big thing I wanted to talk about really is that I really encourage families that are on the free and reduced meal programs to go to the schools and get food. We're really piggybacking on that in that we're giving extra groceries out to those families. But I feel like there's a lot of families that aren't even aware that they can go and get their week's worth of free and reduced meals. So currently what we have set up is on Tuesdays, there's the staff at Nevada Union is basically pre-packaging a week's worth of free and reduced meals on, so it's basically their breakfast and their lunches. And then we are adding a couple bags of supplemental groceries to that, because we feel like these families are the families that really are struggling right now. A lot of these families have lost their jobs, and we really want to be able to encourage them to go and pick up the food that the school's offering, and then to come by, we're like right there in the parking lot, and pick up the food that is from our food pantry. So I just wanted to push that a little bit. And I am really concerned about a lot of these people that are losing their jobs. And I think that it's really important that our community comes together for them. Businesses are closing and people are struggling right now. So as much as we can do to help, I mean, it's all ages, it's all size families, you know. The seniors are definitely a big need, but we also need to help the other people in our community that are struggling. So I know we're all working hard, and I thank everybody that I'm seeing on the screen for all the great work that you guys do. So.
Thank you,
Megan. Just add in, this is Anna from Freed, that again, just, you know, we can all do our part by calling, texting, checking in with our neighbors, friends, and family. Like Megan was saying, a lot of people are feeling isolated, need community connection. We can do that while still maintaining social distancing. So check in with people. Think about, you know, at least 5 people in your life that that maybe you haven't heard from, or that you think may need some support, and reach out to them. I think that will help the community as a whole.
Thanks, Anna.
Pascal, I would love to just give a little shout out to the in-home supportive services providers in our community who, that's about 700 folks who serve some of the most vulnerable people in our community, seniors and people with disabilities with very low income. Probably some of the same people that we're all talking about getting food to. But those IHSS providers are so dedicated to their work. And I think it's really important to note that they are on the front lines of this as well. And we will be recruiting for in-home supportive services providers. So if you are interested in providing in-home care, you can give us a call at our office at 274-5601.
That is absolute, yes, absolutely a big round of applause. And I know there is a movement afoot to ring bells at 7 p.m. at night, and for the healthcare workers And for the first responders, and I definitely think that we should include the IHSS workers in there because they are doing such an important job and checking in. So thank you to all of them.
Thank you so much for all you do.
All right. If that is, we have no more questions. So thanks again, Anna, Heather, Janet, Nicole, and Megan for being here, for doing what you do for our community. And thanks to everybody who attended. We will put this video will be available on YouTube. It will continue to live there. And if you have any questions or want to volunteer, again, it's volunteerhub.connectingpoint.org. That's your starting point. And if you don't want to go online, just dial 211 and Heather and her crew, they will take it from there. Again, thanks everybody, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Pascal.
Thanks.
Thank you.